So I just got around to watching the first episode. If it's for my daughter, I would even defeat the Demon King. Or Demon Lord. I could be messing up that part of the title. Man, I have heard a few things about this series. Not as much as, let's say, Vinland Saga, Fire Force, etc. But I've heard a few things about this series because, well, number one, people know I love the fantasy genre / isekai. And even if this isn't an isekai, it is a fantasy series, and it is definitely up my alley of something I would like. But it's not just that. Also, another reason how I know about this series is that I was actually thinking of picking up the manga / light novel from my local bookstore, or at least on Amazon, and I've been eyeing it for a while. It's something that I've kind of looked at, and something that might be interesting for me to read or something, and I've kind of held back on it when I found out that it was going to be getting an anime. So here I am, finally being able to watch the first episode and give my first impressions. So many are probably wondering, so what is it about? If it's for my daughter, I would even defeat the Demon Lord. Now, obviously, the title's very self-explanatory, but there's a little bit more context I can give. So, at first glance, when the series first starts, it looks like it's just a typical fantasy. You have an adventurer going on his journey, hunting down monsters, getting stronger, trying to make money, etc. But then there is something that happens. You have it to where this little girl wanders out of the bushes, she has a broken horn, and one horn is fine, and she's real tiny. You could say like she's only age 3 or 4, maybe 5, but she's really young. And at first, he can't really communicate at all with her, or like at all, even throughout the episode. And it's very consistent, which is actually one of the things that made me really enjoy this episode, and I'll get into that. The thing is that we found out that the language that the little demon girl was speaking was actually the language that they use for magic. So let's say they're trying to summon a fireball, and they say this weird language, or like, oh, yeah, or whatever. You know, whatever they're saying, that's actually the demon speak. That's what they use to talk with each other. And so he has to use magical chants to kind of communicate with her. And that's how he's able to talk. And they literally have their own language. Like, the writer of this series went out of his way to create another language, and the animators, the studio working on this, decided to literally make the voice actors, actually say a different language. I don't know if it's full-on Japanese or not, like a different, variant of it, but it is definitely a different language than you're used to hearing, and I do appreciate that. I do like that extra mile, that extra effort to really show that this little girl that's of a different race coming in is not going to be able to properly communicate with someone. And on top of that, she's a little girl, so she's not going to be able to speak well in the first place. So I do like that element to this episode. That is the first thing I wanted to point out that I really enjoyed, because it added another layer to the story that I did not expect going in. But okay, let's talk about what it's about. So like I said, at first glance, it seems like a regular adventure story. But then the little girl's introduced, and the main character, he's trying to figure out where she came from, who she is, and, why is her horn broke? Because from whatever is stated, when a horn's broke, it means that these demons or a demon family has committed a grievous crime. Like, they're really bad. And so, that is why. He's like, why would a little girl like her, have a horn broken? Unless it was just her entire family getting exiled. And the only clue she had was this person that was in the bushes that died and told her to leave him because animals would be coming. Obviously, the little girl had no idea that the person was on, death's door, but the point is that he doesn't really get to find out if that person was the little girl's father or not. He had no idea, but he assumed that a relative or whatever. And so she was left alone. So the only option he had was to take her back to the main city where he stays at and, figure out what to do next. Obviously, he tries to think about what he could do. He tries to think that he could probably take her to an orphanage. And at first glance, that might seem like the best thing to do, because he is an adventurer. He is someone that probably has no experience. Well, he even states he really has no experience. He doesn't have time to really take care of a kid. But then as he spends time with her and he realizes the situation, if he was to throw her at an orphanage, she would pretty much end up in a really bad state. Because with her being a demon, that has a broken horn, it's going to complicate things for people who are really not going to want to adopt her in the first place. So she was going to be effectively, an orphan for her entire life. That's what he would pretty much do to her. So he couldn't put her in an orphanage. And obviously he can't just go to a random person and it's like, hey, take this demon child. That's not going to work. So at the end of the episode, he decided to adopt her, which is just truly wholesome and adorable, and I love that moment, by the way. It was definitely a great moment. But the main context is that the main character has to learn how to take care of her. And I did not expect this story to kind of be like that. It's kind of like someone that's an adventurer, someone that has his entire future ahead of him to do great things, has to be a parent. That's what's happening. And I know there's probably other manga and anime out there that has done this, but I personally have not seen something to this level, and I like that. I love the start of this story because of how this character, like I said, is an adventurer, but he's having to take care of a child that is so young, can't speak and communicate with people properly, and she's so scared of being abandoned that he has to be with her constantly, because every time he got up and she didn't see him right beside her, she got scared. She's like calling his name, like, Dell, Dell, and she was scared because she thought she was going to be left alone, and it makes sense, but it also shows just the trauma that's already been placed on this young child, is that she has abandonment issues. She doesn't want to be left behind, and so if he was to, put her in an orphanage, it would just magnify the issue a hell of a lot. So, I love this starting episode. It's definitely something that catches my interest, and I did not expect it to be this good. I knew it was going to be good. Like I said, I've been eyeing it. I just didn't expect it to be this good, because I had no idea that there would be like a language barrier between the characters, to just the adventurer kind of giving up his job as an adventurer in a little bit to raise this child, and I do think he might have to continue adventuring because he needs to be able to make money, and it's probably the only thing he's good at, but that would mean that he's going to have to take her on an adventure, which is going to put her in harm's way. But the people that he's staying with did say that they would watch over her and take care of her while he's out on an adventure, but judging by how she acts, I don't think it's going to work out that way. I think she's going to want to go with him, so if that does happen, that means he's going to have to take care of her, watch over her, and make sure she's safe while he's out slaying monsters. So it's going to definitely increase the difficulty of his job quite a bit, but I think it's going to give a very entertaining watch for all of us. So yeah, if it's for my daughter, I would even defeat a demon lord. Definitely something I'm glad I watched. I definitely want to see episode 2. I think episode 2 comes out tomorrow, or actually, time you guys see this video, later today, which I'll be watching. I'm very behind on a lot of things, because there's been so much that came out, and been working on the house and stuff, and all that, in the yard, and just a lot of stuff, but, I do think that this is a strong start, and there's definitely, after seeing this and a bunch of other series I've watched today, this is a really strong season compared to last season. I really do like a lot of stuff from Summer of Anime 2019, and I'm glad Summer of, Anime 2019 is delivering some good content. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. How did you feel about this first episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? How do you feel about the main character? How do you feel about the art and animation? How do you feel about, the overall theme of the story? Be honest in the comments below, and with that, I love you guys. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, and with that, Chibi out.